All right, welcome to our explainer. Today we're going to dig into a really simple but honestly life-changing idea about how success actually works. So let's just dive right in.
Let me ask you something. What if success isn't some huge dramatic breakthrough? You know, that one big moment we're all told to chase? What if it's actually quieter? Something that's happening right now, in this very moment.
So, this idea is called the slight edge, and it's all about the power of what we call compounding action. The core of it is pretty simple, really. Our lives, your future, it isn't shaped by those massive life-altering decisions. Nope. It's shaped by the tiny, almost invisible things you do every single day. Think about it. Every little choice you make today is moving you somewhere. It's either a tiny step up the ladder or a tiny step down. Your future isn't waiting for some big event to happen. It's built brick by tiny brick by what you do today.
Let's make this real. Imagine two people, right? Person A saves just 100 rupees a day. Person B spends that same 100 rupees. I mean, on any given day, who cares, right? It's a tiny amount. But you fast forward a few years, Person A has built up some serious savings, some real financial peace of mind. Person B, well, they've built up stress. That is the slight edge in action. So simple, but so powerful.
And it works for everything, not just money. Let's talk health. A 20-minute walk, it feels like nothing. It's so easy to skip. But imagine the person who does it versus the person who doesn't. After a year, they are in two completely different places physically. And it wasn't because of some crazy, intense workout plan. It was just that one small, consistent choice.
So, you see the pattern here, right? It all boils down to this one truth. Small choices, repeated over time, lead to a massive difference. That's it. That's the incredible power of compounding action.
Okay, so we get the idea. But how do we actually do this? Well, the slight edge has a framework. Basically 5 key principles or rules to guide you. Let's walk through them one by one.
All right, rule number 1. And it's a big one. Small steps matter way more than big goals. We all set these huge, intimidating goals, right? Like, I'm gonna read 50 books this year. And then we get overwhelmed and do nothing. Forget that. The slight edge says just read 5 pages a day. Just 5. It's the consistency of that tiny step that actually gets you to the finish line. Not how big and impressive your goal sounded at the start.
Okay, moving on to number 2. And this one sounds almost too simple, but it is so crucial. It's this. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. I mean, think about that for a second. Drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning. So easy. But skipping it, also incredibly easy. And since there's no immediate punishment, no alarm bells go off, we just let it slide. The secret is realizing that those simple, easy-to-do choices are where your real power is.
All right, principle number 3. This one is all about shifting our focus away from how we feel and toward what we do. Here it is. Success is built on daily routines, not on motivation. Look, motivation is great, but it's flaky. It's an emotion. It comes and goes, right? A routine, that's an action. A writer who waits for inspiration might never finish a chapter, but the writer who just sits down and commits to writing for 10 minutes every single day, whether they feel like it or not, yeah, they're the one who actually finishes the book.
Now, number 4. This principle gets to the heart of why so many people start and then just give up.
And it's because your choices compound silently. When you start a new good habit, you don't see anything on day 1, or day 10, or even day 30. It feels like you're putting in all this effort for nothing. But you're not. Underneath the surface, that progress is building up. It's compounding, even when you can't see a single bit of evidence. And that leads us perfectly into our 5th and final principle. This one is all about your mindset, about your perspective.
You have to be patient with progress. I love this analogy. You can't plant a seed and then dig it up every morning to see if it's growing, right? You'd kill it. You have to trust the process. You water it, you make sure it gets sunlight, and you have faith that deep down something is happening. It's the exact same thing with your habit. So this whole idea of silent progress is absolutely critical because it explains the number 1 reason why people quit. So let's talk about how you can survive what we'll call the silent start.
This timeline, this is the journey, right here. After a week of your new habit, you look in the mirror, you check your bank account, and nothing, no change. So you start to doubt. A month goes by, and now you're really asking, is this even working? This right here is the danger zone. It's where almost everyone throws in the towel, just before the shift. That's the amazing moment when all that silent, compounded effort finally breaks through and becomes visible.
I love this quote because it just captures the whole thing perfectly. Progress grows underground first, like roots in the soil. You just have to keep watering. You have to stay consistent through that invisible phase if you ever want to see the breakthrough.
Okay, so theory is great, right? But what about right now? How can we actually put this into practice today? Well, here's a super simple, step-by-step action plan for your first 7 days.
So, here's your 7-day slight edge plan. And notice the key word here is tiny. Day 1, just pick one tiny health habit. I'm talking a 10-minute walk, that's it. Day 2, one tiny learning habit, like reading those 5 pages. Day 3, a tiny career habit. Then on day 4, you just track them. See how you're doing. Day 5 is interesting. Remove one small negative habit, not a huge one. Then day 6, you just review your small wins. Notice I said wins, not perfection. And then on day 7, you just commit to doing it all again next week. The whole point is to make it so easy you can't say no.
So, as we're wrapping this up, I want you to remember this core truth. Success is not a miracle.
And on the flip side of that, failure is not an accident either.
They're both just the result of your tiny daily choices, repeated over and over and over again. So the message couldn't be clearer. Start small and start today.
And that really just leaves us with one final all-important question. A question for you. What simple choice, what tiny, easy-to-do thing